Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove case. Today we're revisiting a very important theme, and that's to do with Noah's personal items, possessions, and externally linked on with Dale and Presgrove's golf club and bag. Whilst there's been a heavy focus in the past and on and off people have made references to, well, there's still remain a mystery, there's still not been returned. But then people from the dark side say, well, they have been, and this or that person said this and that, and police have handed it over and whatnot, and the mother has it and whatnot. Well, let's just try and understand and work out what the actual hell is going on. Because to me, it sounds like a breakdown in communication. And when there's a theme like that, it basically means there is dysfunction within the case, dysfunction within the community. And there might also be dysfunction in people's comments, reactions, and responses in recent time. Because the video that I did last night, I highlighted one of the most important themes at the end of the day. And others, who should be somewhat grateful or at least acknowledge it, have completely blindsided it and are just yapping on like dogs. What type of gender dog? Well, we were not going there, because if I did, some people try and twist and word and say, oh, are you calling me that? Nope, not calling anyone anything specifically. No names, no figures, no stats have been presented. But what I will be presenting today is what an individual had claimed in the past in regard to Noah's possessions and items. And as ridiculous as it may sound and random, whether it's been debunked or not in recent time, I've not seen or heard anything. I've not really seen a follow-up or update. So I thought, as me being a catalyst, I'd do a video, bring focus back. And of course, what's important is stuff I have covered in the past, I can always bring up again, just in case people know of information or updates, and then we can clear stuff up or debunk. And for some people, debunking stuff gets people triggered. Why? Obviously, with people from the dark side, alternative side who've come along, I mean, just as a question, and maybe I can do it as a poll or a result, it might sound silly where people may think, oh, you're calling it the light side and the dark side. I only call it that, it's just because it's more memorable, right? Doesn't literally mean to say people on the dark side are bad, negative people. Got nothing to do with that. But it's just a memorable name, exactly like with the Kenny Veach case, you would call it M Cave Mineshaft. Well, is the mineshaft linked to the M Cave? Is it the cave? No, it's a mine. It's a shaft, but it's just a reference to the hike that was done by the missing person that went on a certain route to try and find the location of the cave. Memorable lines and references helps people's memory recollections. Memorable moments, good or bad, words, symbols, it can mean a lot. Whether that be an imprint upon yourself, externally, internally, or around you, it helps stimulates recollection. So that's what I do. Light side, dark side. But if you wanted it to be called light side versus the alternative side, the alt side, maybe we do a poll. What would you want to be called, labelled as? Something like that. But, it just makes it easier. We're not quite grouping people together in that way, but obviously there's been a wave and a group of people that have come around since on my channel compared to previous. So you get different perspectives and different thoughts. And this is what I mean. And I think it's a really important issue, what we need to highlight in just a second. But what I want to say first of all is welcome to anyone and everyone watching this live premiere. Share your thoughts, opinions, reactions in the live chat located on the right-hand side of the screen. And after watching this video right now or on catch-up later, be sure to drop your comments below under the video. Share your thoughts, what you agree, disagree with, your questions, and I'll try and respond back later. By commenting on these videos, it helps with spreading awareness of the case and the video itself, so hopefully more people get to find and reach it as well. If you are interested in continued coverage and previous videos you may have missed out on, don't worry. If you go to the top right corner of the screen right now where the eye symbol is, click there. You get a drop-down box with the full playlist of all the videos and some loose ones as well, last night and nights before. And in recent times, there's been some breaking news. A couple of people have come along and said, oh, I've returned back. Looks like I've not missed out on much. It's the same stuff as we go along, blah, 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 blah. No, 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 no. Impetuous behavior. Do the research. Go back to my previous videos and you will find that there's been material and bits and bobs along the way which has been presented by me on my channel, which beforehand had never been seen before. Oh, you think there's not been progress in the case? You don't think it's got anywhere? Oh, but the Snapchat posts that have appeared here and there since, which have filled in grey areas and also added on to possible timings of when Noah walks away, timings of when a possible search took place, and trying to make sense of it. I think that's quite important, filling in the grey patches which may have not been provided by the professionals on a public level. Not been provided, no offence, to by the family. The way this case has gone isn't as good how, with a previous case that I looked at, which was the Dylan Rounds one. And as dodgy as that case was, it was more so the community online that was more so dysfunctional than how it was actually presented properly, officially, or not even officially, just by the family themselves, because officially it wasn't corrupt, it was just very incompetent there and also silent. But the family, the parents, or at least the mother, pushed really hard, really vocal, and as well online too. With every case, it's different, and the location as well, and the people, the authorities behind it, but as well the families, the victims' families all react differently. Some may be more vocal than others, some may be more patient than others. And I guess on a surface level with the Noah Presgrove one, it just feels like nothing is happening, absolutely nothing. But in the background, there probably is some stuff going on. But this is what I mean. Think of the Dylan Rounds case. There would be chaos, there would be mess, disorder, misinformation, disinformation, questions, confusion. What are we supposed to believe now? And then what would happen at a later point in time? There would be an update, whether it be by a news channel, East Idaho News, Candace Cooley, Justin Rounds, whatever, and it would clarify some previous points. Questions would be gathered together, and in some kind of like live stream, they'd be asked and answered, and that would help as well. There were all different methods. There was like a timeline to it, not guaranteed, but at points when it was needed most during a period, a wall of silence, it was filled in, recollection, recap, catching up on stuff, sorting stuff out, then open up more questions, which is problematic, spent some time trying to figure that out, then came a later update. There was a flow to it. Here, there's nothing. It's desolate. So for some people, it could seem as if, oh, it's just for the general public to try and work out and solve the case because on the surface public level, it's not really going anywhere. But to be honest, even if there could be some way to go somewhere, I think it'd be a waste of time because first of all, you need to try and sort out the disorder, the dysfunction and the incompetence by the human race to an extent when it comes to people in the community, the mindsets there, the misunderstandings, the Chinese whispers. See, the reason why I did the video I did last night, even if the original person meant it in a different way and not linked it to the person on YouTube, click that video for more context. I did it anyway to, de-escalate it because I knew, I predicted what would happen next and the impact it can have. Chinese whispers occurred a day or two ago. People misinterpreted it. People then applied it to YouTube, but it wasn't true. I stepped in, big boy Wrath. You want to call me daddy? No, not quite there yet. But cleared it up as a witness, balanced, perspective, resolved now for most part of it. Okay? That is what's needed. I was able to do it because I was in the right place, the right time, and in a position as well. There's been many times in the past I've not been present or in a position to do so. But if how last night was demonstrated, orchestrated, specifically about that particular theme, an out of context reason, if that was applied many of the times in the past, humans would be a lot better off with time. Okay? And it can be proven as well. And it has been proven in past cases. See, when news comes out or findings come around, it's the wording and the language of what's presented first of all and how people interpret that. And then others jump ahead and go beyond. See, I can already see lots of dysfunctions right now, okay? I can see a lot of dysfunction and a lot of mess. Oh, but that's nothing. That's got nothing to do with the case. It doesn't help the case. That's not justice for Noah. That's not justice for that victim. Dysfunction is to do with humans. Humans, some are dysfunctional. Humans create dysfunction and incompetence. And if those said humans are involved in a case, direct or on the sideline in the community, it all runs in parallel. So if humans run in parallel with the case and they're dysfunctional and create dysfunction, the theme of dysfunction needs to be highlighted because it's gripping on like a cancer and disease to the case, which slows down progression, disrupts focus, and much more. And the reason why WarLike Wrath can have it under control, I can be swinging around a big black whip in my hand and I can still be focused about the case. And yet there's some other humans out there, whingy whiners, all they have to do is sit on their arse, listen in, and they can't even do that. So it really says a lot about multitasking. And I know a few other people here and there are very good at multitasking, better than me. Isn't that right? See, on the sideline, someone made a reference last night about a certain celebrity and the voice, how they'd be shouting out a person's name. It might have been Skippy or SKIM or something. I'll take that in mind. I might apply it in the future, but right now we're just focusing on the case. And what I do want to say is, if you do want to support this channel, actually, besides that, more importantly, I don't know if I'll mention it in the title or the description, because I know some people will try and twist it and say, oh, WarLike Wrath is a narcissist for mentioning it. But just as a heads up, today is my birthday. But, of course, besides my birthday, what is important is covering the Noah Presgrove case and keeping it alive, spreading awareness, and also having a video in the format of a live premiere so people can share their thoughts, and also maybe as a distraction with whatever might be going on in the background for people. But if anyone wants to support this channel for whatever reason, one of the more practical ways to do so can be located below the video in the comment section, where the pinned message is at the top by me. One link is channel membership, and the main link at the top is the PayPal one. Big shout out to those that have done so in the background very recently. You know who you are. And of course, big shout out to the people present last night with the super chats and or the super stickers. Can't remember everybody's names. Matt, was it Tim Daniel? Was it SKIM? I think definitely them. Good individual. Some of the people, and of course, Elizabeth as well. Really positive to see, and just keep on going. Of course, positively it's a boost, but also it's just like the material itself. The material itself is good enough as a booster. So when you know you've got stuff to work with and how you can operate with it and try and make sense, that helps as well. And you know, just in general, shout out to the people along the way that have presented material to. And as an observation, because I like mentioning the dysfunctions, is that from a certain side, those that may provide material, not too forceful, but others, maybe at times. Those on the receiving end of hearing about material, some can be very nosy and interrogate and demand, where did you get it from? Who's the named individual? Do you really know? Where exactly? And what time and where? And what clothing were they wearing? Were they wearing pants, shorts, a sombrero? Did they have a camel? Were they riding anything? Tell us, Raf, we need to know. Really? And then from a different side perspective, they've been like, oh well, whatever. That's what I find interesting. There was a long period of time for many months, and it seems like people, some from the light side, completely neglect and forget. But I started off covering it from the light side perspective and even Team Caden Pressey. And it could have been coming across as critical or a little bit negative, depending on how people interpret it. I did it as best as I could towards people from the dark side in the case and externally. And yet, I didn't really get many, if not any, complaints from the dark side, and they had every opportunity and right to do so. Even Brooke Bounds Carter was very patient and didn't lash out at me, but they could have done if they wanted to, or if they felt the need to, yet just didn't happen. And yet in recent time, with what I do now, in the same style, same exact way, just from a different perspective, oh, now really I'm a bad person. That's one-sided. That's one way. Oh, because the case is only one way. The outcome is only one way. So the style and the coverage and the stories need to be only one way, linear. and exclude certain pieces and not talk about certain stuff. That sounds a bit problematic to me. Was there anything else that I needed to mention with the chat itself? Well, of course, like, maybe I can mention some of it within the comment section later on, but I guess for now, let's just focus on one of the main important themes, and that's to do with Noah's personal possessions and items. The mystery of the wallet, shirt, top, hats, bits and bobs like that. At least, and you would have seen the clip previously, but like with the last Partners in True Crime interview, Robin Smith, Ashley Chadwick, completely in the dark. Both those individuals, Noah Presgrove related family members, have said items have not been returned back to the family. Only the black shorts. And when it comes to consistency there with the black shorts, well, they've acknowledged it. I think there was a past comment by Caden Pressey, possibly. I might have it somewhere on my phone. The reference of the black shorts were handed back and it was Jack giving them to Dalen and whatnot. So there's a bit of consistency there from different individuals at separate times. No influencer effect, no biasness, all natural as it should be. It's good to have consistency amongst people. It's greater to have it amongst individuals at separate times who think in the same style or way or know the same stuff but haven't been around one another. The more natural, the better. The more effective, practical. But that aside, we're just focusing on the other clothing, items and possessions. And, you know, with people present right now watching in the background and whatnot, if you know with the items and what's happened with them, you can share your thoughts or list it below. All I'm going to do is present to you what I came across at one point in the past and how it's faded away since. And to be honest, you could say the same for some other points, like with the Snapchat post at the very start when it came out. There was a strong wave of people saying it's fake, it's manipulated. Why? What's the evidence? Oh, because those said individuals had done it in the past. So they got form. So they've probably done it again. Probably, but not that they did with confidence. You're basing the past history as a forms of it's happened again and it's repeating itself. But in terms of the past, when it did happen and things were manipulated, how was the proof found of it? How was the counter evidence? How did it appear? Because if it did and it was successful, how come the same hasn't happened again with these Snapchat posts? Because the ones that don't believe in it or think it's manipulated, it's kind of quieting down now and it's faded away. You could argue at times the reason why some things fade away in life because there was no strength behind it in the first place, there was no passion behind it in the first place, it was weak, there was no focus, there was no foundations in place, there was no long-term commitment either, and or I guess because there wasn't a form of hard evidence, just words. And words from party goers as well, you could argue in saying those ways aren't good enough. It's something, but may not be enough. A person's account of stuff tied in with CCTV footage where it visually reinforces it is one of the best combinations, but unfortunately, as we've heard, the cameras at the house not working. If they had been working, would the case be solved by now? Maybe not. Because it all comes down to where Noah Presgrove died. And if he died on property out of sight, the cameras wouldn't pick it up. If it was on the highway, no cameras there. You would have made a bit of progression possibly, or well, quite a bit, but it might not be completely enough. Anyway, that said, let's just head on over to the screenshot and reiterate it to people. Here we are. Hopefully this rings a bell for some people out there. As for it being duplicated on the left and right, I have no clue what's really going on here. I don't know the whole point of that unless it was posted on different pages, just giving that consistent point of view. I know previously we did see that comment made where it was a retrospective look at what Avery Howard had said in the past, and people said it was fake, manipulated to force a false narrative and agenda. Would the same appear here? Probably not from the looks of it, but I just don't know what the obsession is with duplicating and zooming in and out, getting dodgy screenshots. Why do screenshots have to be so dodgy and, you know, unclear at times or just a bit all over the place? Just get a still photo, everything on screen as best as you can. Or get screenshots of page by page by page. See, this is another observation that I noticed, is that maybe at times when people from the dark side may provide material, they also provide a caption, an understanding in regard to the photo at hand. And then other people end up sending 5 to 6 to 10 photos, and I've got to try and understand it in a matter of seconds. Yeah, Rav, you got to make it out. Got to upload it as soon as possible. We need a full story. We need a full context. Oh yeah, do I have the context? I have F all. And I've got to try and look at some bloody screenshots. What the hell does it mean? Oh, there's a photo of a potato. Yes, and? Well, someone liked that potato. Petty-ass individual. I don't like that if they like potatoes. I want them to like melons instead. Okay, well, that's not exactly my problem. That's how it's gone about. But let's just focus what's on screen right now. Now, I pronounced the name incorrectly in the past, and there's a chance I'm probably going to do it once again. And I will zoom in because the one on the right-hand side is pissing me off a little bit. Well, it won't actually let me. Never mind. I think last time I called them Juan, but someone said it's pronounced Dwayne. Where's the bloody W at? See, why do people have such dodgy names to try and pronounce? Just spell it correctly. I'm just being light-hearted. What's this up here? The flag tank top, which Noah Presgrove wore at the time, has been located. Thank you, Dwayne Largent, for clearing that up. Who is Dwayne? Oh, Dwayne responding at the time to Wham Bam, thank you, Pam. Throw the toys out the pram. We've got Petty Pam. We all know all about Petty Pam in recent time. But Dwayne responded in the past. This is an older screenshot. This is probably from months ago. And he says, Noah's tank top was not cut up or spread amongst anyone. Casey Smith, the mother of Noah Presgrove, had given the tank top to me and my daughters. All this commotion over all this time, I even read where someone posted that they demand whoever has it to speak up. It's so disheartening to see people act in this manner. Mostly it's none of their business. It might not be none of their business as in the general public, but wouldn't it be nice at least for Noah Presgrove's family to be informed that Dwayne Largent has some of Noah's possessions to an extent? It would go a long way, because at least for Robin Smith, Ashley Chadwick, they're in the dark about it and have been since. And no one's reacted either, so that's weird. Stephanie, oh, so his American tank top given to you guys, Dwayne, and more. And it's irrelevant to anyone who doesn't know us. And this is why we don't reply when we see everyone arguing about them. Why we don't reply. Right, so if you're not willing to reply, communicate, or let the general public know because it's none of their business, you can't be complaining as well about humans complaining and trying to figure out what's going on. If you leave people in the dark, they're going to continue to be lost, maybe frustrated, and some may complain. It is what it is, what comes with it. Dwayne, we was blessed with several years with this tight family. Me and my girls loved them all so much. I just hate seeing all this fighting between people who really don't, who really don't need to be saying anything in the first place. But there was like a bit of a tight family with Noah Presgrove at the time and Casey Smith. I think some people said Dwayne Largent was like an ex-boyfriend to Casey Smith. But it's just very interesting how out of everyone that could have had certain items and more, which could be interpreted as the wallet, the hat, the other Adidas shoe, at least based off an opinion and theory only, why Dwayne Largent of all individuals? Why not Robin Smith? Why not Ashley Chadwick? See, if it really is from Casey Smith, the mother, we have seen that older Facebook post by Casey saying why she felt left out in the past when it came to her son Noah, how she was denied of this and that, and there was a breakdown in communication with other Presgrove family members. There could have been a bit of a distaste over time, so when it came to a point where Casey actually had personal items, instead of handing them to other family members or telling them that they've been returned, she did other stuff with them and passed some on to a random person called Dwayne Largent. Now, at the end of the day, some people could say Dwayne Largent is faking it, or it's a fake profile, or it's a load of BS and it's been debunked, whatnot. But we've just not seen a follow-up, and I thought it's just important to do it now, sooner than later. Give or time a bit of time passing by, reiterating to people's memory and head, what does everyone think about this? These personal items and possessions, the wallet, the shoe, the hat, the top with the American flag on. How important are they, the tank top? How important are they to the death of Noah? Because are they pieces of evidence? Well, if they have been returned back to family, then maybe they're not evidence anymore or a part of the case. They've been taken in possibly at some point, some of it processed, and if it's linked or could be added on, all sorts of report, etc., it'll be kept, withheld. But if there's not much behind it, doesn't tell much of a story, no DNA, nothing suspicious or odd, then I guess it's handed back. So you could say, oh, well, so then that applies to the black shorts then, how they were handed back. But were the black shorts ever handed in to the police to begin with? Because at least with the autopsy report, it mentions about the white shorts and only them. No mention of black shorts. Were the black shorts ever taken in by police? If they were never taken in by police, the chances of what Caden says about shorts being manipulated is a bit higher in it taking place. As in, the shorts were removed, the black ones at the time replaced with white shorts but not actually put onto the body. Black shorts taken away by whoever, then later returned to the brother Dalen by Jack Newton of all people. I'm just asking these questions. All they require is a simple answer. You can do that in the chat or more so in the comment section, and then we just go from there. See, in a past case, the Dylan Rounds one, I would look at items of interest, possible evidence, the importance, significance, hierarchical scale of them, and where they could end up and how they were treated with. Higher value items, where did they end up? How are they disposed of? That was in that case. With the Noah Presgrove one, we don't know how items ended up. Some could say, like on screen, well, they were returned back and this person handed them out, but is it hard enough evidence to know? Or is it just hearsay from what a random person on Facebook has said, popping out of nowhere and not returning back since? Just like that woman, in which a friend of that woman spoke out and said, oh yeah, at about 5 a.m, when my friend was driving to work south towards Terrell, going past that party house, at some point down the highway, came across a side-by-side which appeared out of nowhere. There was never a follow-up on it. And some people in the chat recently have said, well, it was just a rumour, it was debunked anyway, I think, but we don't actually know. That's why we need to reiterate these points. And even if stuff has been debunked, it's not been debunked on a wide public scale. Some people could be in the know of what's really true and what's false, but the rest will be in the dark. And whilst, yes, you could let things just fade away into the bottomless pit because it meant nothing in the first place, I don't forget, though. And I don't like it just fading away. If it's going to be, fake, BS, wasted time for the energy that was put in the first place in listening, it's nice to finish what was started, debunking or reinforcing regardless. That's how it's been done back then, that's how it will be done now and in the future as well. So with what's on screen, let me know your thoughts, and now, in the meantime, we'll move on to the comment section of last night's video and just catch up there with people's reactions as in what went down. Here we are, and I'll just adjust it to the newest. Take in mind that it's quite hot at the moment when it comes to this specific comment section of the video, and the awareness is quite high in a short space of time, like how it used to be in the past, but that's just because of it being a hot topic, a bit controversial, key people involved, and it being shared about. So even those that think the video wasn't good enough or more could have been done, it's still somewhat of people's interest because they still ended up sharing it and context was provided. Context which maybe some people didn't appreciate much, but we'll start from the bottom. We'll work our way up. We got Michelle, first of all, interesting. Thank you, Wrath, for your continued coverage. Looking forward to your future videos of abandoned places. Now, I don't know if it's in the same comment thread, but there's a possibility Michelle left another question, and wherever it is, it was a good question, and that can be for a separate video. I can mention the positives, the negatives, and what I think. Hopefully it's here so I can get a screenshot of it. Justin Roy, I believe, left this comment before the video of my premiere actually aired. saying, I just hope the whole truth and backstory is told about this. Well, backstory and the supposed truth provided to an extent with what one had, with what one was available with, and taken into consideration in between. Some stuff was taken down and deleted, was it not? So, got to take that into consideration. Tammy, you better tell it. And take in mind, if there was additional context that was needed, Justin Roy is always welcome to leave a comment down below. Yes, it may take time and it's tiring, but considering that Justin Roy has said a lot over time and sometimes copied and pasted his comments, he can do the same here if it's more efficient. So it's all under control, but let's see if other people do. Michelle, whoever shared your daughter's private messages she sent out of concern is a very sick individual dragging a child into it. But as sick as the situation could be, if it can be countered with a level of understanding and a level of balance to highlight who's in the wrong or who is not, who is truly innocent, that's what's most important. If there can be a platform or a channel greater in size than other places that can publicly show that this individual is innocent, a good person, that's what counts. The original act, the original action of maybe posting stuff to indirectly and as a form of collateral damage indirectly impact people could be a problem. But then I come along, reduce the damage a little bit for the right reason. Michelle, okay, so Justin, thank you. They used it as a weapon against me. But have there been other times where maybe people from the light side have bent, twisted, cropped out a screenshot or a conversation? Others, rogue agents in the light side perspective that have forced a false, fake, or slightly altered narrative to suit their agenda, which further highlights or portrays someone on the dark side in an even darker way than what they actually are or were. It happens both ways. And I've already interpreted it anyway about the weaponization of material being deemed as ammunition transferred into a weapon and then being discharged. So I was kind of the originator of some of that symbolism, the microcosm of it, all the way back from the Dylan Rounds case. It's just WarLike Wrath terminology, the dictionary of wrath. But we got wait, do we call this person Skim? Is that easier? I don't know. SKIM? Or is it SKLM? I'm not too sure. You have raised armies to hurt grieving young people. This is in response to Justin, this person's comment, and their families. All whilst LE and Noah's actual family and loved ones have begged you to stop causing so much harm. Using your own family as collateral damage is a new low. What part of the Bible do you think compels you to behave this way? Because I can think of the verse after verse that commands you to do the opposite. When will enough be enough? Please just stop. Let the professionals do their jobs. As the family has pleaded with you, just stop. Luana Cook to Michelle. These are very sick people, all of them. Practice what you preach. Stop just being a Bible thumper, not godly at all. Professionals are not doing their job. That's all we want. Justice for Noah. But you know what's important, Luana? When the professionals slip up, slow down, or go underground privately, to fill that void in between, casual people can step on in. Influencers can step on in. People that can spread awareness or have an audience. And good can come from that. Even if it doesn't seem or appear or feel good in the moment, long term, it can happen. That if certain said individuals had stepped down or walked away, as we've seen with the pattern of other people previously, the case would be a lot more dead and a lot more quiet. As for some, they find it hard to comprehend and say, Raf, you did not single-handedly keep this alive. You did not single-handedly keep a Reddit page active for a certain set amount of months. Well, if you take away one's presence, then you'll find out the way things are and how much quieter they will become. And as a bit of an experiment, that will be noticeable at times, longer term, elsewhere. But anyway, no weapon shall prosper. God's got this. Right, so we are going into religious references, I think. Justin in response, I haven't done anything but look for the truth for Noah. And that is the case. And what I don't understand is, when I defend Justin Roy, it never seems to be good enough for some people on the light side. It's ridiculous. Because there have been some occasions where Justin has acknowledged that what I've done, which is a positive, the main person at hand, and yet, if you wanted to call it Justin Roy's followers, don't always see it that way. And it's unfortunate. That's what I will say. To interpret it in a balanced way, right, from the light side and the dark side, what Justin has done is tried looking for the truth for Noah. But in the process, at times, maybe heavy-handed, maybe too full on for some people. It might be a bit overwhelming. And how people react to that level of intensity could come across as a bit negative, developing a bit of a negative outlook on Justin. Okay? So it doesn't have to be manipulating this, manipulating that, alternating this, and creating fake accounts and being cowardly. It's got nothing to do with that. It doesn't have to be. It's just very full on. And that can be too much for people, you know? Like with police, how they may handle situations, cases and interviews. Not directly in this particular case, but in general in life. They might be a bit patient. They might wait the time out. It's just like with an investigation from January 1st or so, 2024, up until 2024 of a certain month, maybe December or November, when you had that, Warwick city manager, and then he was done to do with child stuff and photos and material, which you're not supposed to have in, illegal stuff like that. It was an investigation that took time. It was a bit of a slow process to it, gathering evidence material, tracking, monitoring, behaviour with time. You can't force certain things. Some people could interpret Justin truly looking for the truth for Noah, but wanting to try and fast track it to get it solved as soon as possible. But there is a process to everything, and there's a time. And it might be annoying for people, but sometimes you just got to trust the process, okay? Sometimes things in life that take time is because it's worth it in the end, and it just needs to take a certain time. You rush anything with anyone or anything in general, you might not get the same best outcome as if you were patient. So there's that. I know people can say, well, this case has gone on long enough by now. Well, to be honest, by my standards, which with a case I previously looked at, it took like 3 years, if not a bit more. So, with a case like this, there's still time. That's all I would say. And it would make more sense for a case like this to last longer, just because there's more people and people of interest kind of involved in the case, and the inconsistencies as well. The more, disruption or inconsistencies in the first place within the case, the longer it's going to take time to process any material along the way, any evidence, any interviews and whatnot. So if you've covered enough true crime cases over time, you might develop a certain pattern, reasoning ability, tolerance level to what you expect and when you expect things to take place. If you get involved for the very first time, because you don't normally, you might be thinking, God, this is taking too long. Depends how long you've been around for. Anyway, Justin says, manipulate, gaslight, deflect, and harass as much as you need to. You all release my daughter's messages on purpose to try to hurt me and my family. You did that, and my daughter is devastated. When the real truth comes out, I hope you don't hide behind a fake account. I hope you come out and apologise. Noah is the only victim here. I'll be his voice all day. But aren't Noah Presgrove's family Noah's voice as well, or not as much? Because I know some people in the background would say, well, Justin, who isn't even a family member, has supposedly said more, talked more about the case than Noah Presgrove family members have. That's not coming from my mouth, but I'm just putting it out there as in what I've heard previously. So by just saying that would actually put Justin Roy really high up as in involvement in the case in a good way, in a positive way, a proactive way. But not everyone will see it like that or, interpret it, but I'm just giving you the different points of views. But look, at the end of the day, how much more positive do I need to be? How much more positive words do I need to say? I said, I defend these people when there's a time and when it can be done in a balanced way, but for certain followers out there on the light side, it's just never good enough. It's unfortunate. I don't know what's gone wrong with time. Weird. Moving on. EP. Imagine begging for days for someone to post it. Then, when they finally do, he lies. He first lies about it, saying it's fake, then tries lying and putting a young girl's mental health into question, and he wonders why his kids are embarrassed of him. Let's see the responses. Maria, Jasmine Milan is nothing but trouble. What if it was your son they were always doing just because he wants justice? Meant to say bashing. EP, no one from the party is involved. Idiots. Justin has non-stop bashed many involved. Wait, to say no one from the party is involved in Noah's death, that could be a bit of a jump, a bit impetuous, if I be honest with you. Because whilst it could be at the moment in the direction of an accidental death, possibly, and that's just with recent conversations and discussions in general, I wouldn't jump to say everybody is innocent, because do we have enough hard evidence on the public surface level to say everyone from the party is innocent? I don't think we do. So it's a bit of a step too far, that, to be honest. E. Hendley says, or Elizabeth, I should say, gross as a family member to say this, so wrong. Not sure if you are aware, but what you say online exists always. You can't delete it later with no trace. That could be the same about my nipples, but I'm not too worried about them. Peace in Christ. Shout out to Peace in Christ for their support and positivity on the channel, whether that be a super chat on the video last night or a video beforehand. It's good of them. See, when Peace in Christ appears in the live chat, kind of similar to their name, they shine a certain presence of light out of nowhere. It's interesting. But they say, I 100% believe there was some sort of foul play, whether he died somewhere else, but he was definitely moved to the spot where he was found. People may disagree with me, but that is my opinion. I have the right to that opinion. There was some sort of foul play. Just for Peace to say this is my opinion goes a long way. Anybody that reads this doesn't have to agree with it, but shouldn't have to attack either. Does that make sense? Just a person's opinion, what they think at this moment in time, what's likely the case. Yes, they say 100%, but they say what they believe in. Not what they know as a fact, but just as an opinion-based. Appropriate language and wording. If more people were like Peace in Christ, the community in general overall would be a lot better and less dysfunctional. That is what's key about my channel. My channel, the presence itself, brings in the right people over time with key qualities amongst these individuals. And whilst some individuals may have a reputation elsewhere, how they may behave here at times is a lot better. Of course, when you add different people into the mix who may not get on well with one another, then darkness could show, but sometimes you need a bit of darkness to balance out with the light as like a palette paintbrush. Okay, I'm sure Beauty Gurumo has more than one colour and shade when applying. EP, you would think that, don't you have quite the record yourself? Wait, what does that mean? CC, not seen CC for a while. This was brought to this page to shame Justin into silence. That's why it's being presented, because it does not accomplish anything else. So basically, the original intent supposedly behind posting it is to damage Justin Roy in an even more negative light and to make him look like a bad person in the case. That supposedly certain family members are disappointed in Justin as well. Then I come along I try and put it into perspective with my own individual opinion as well. And I'd say the perspective was fair enough and positive in the right direction, even if some material may have been lacking, and that, just minimized the damage. Okay? The damage has already been done. And whatever people's intent was beforehand towards Justin, I come along, I take a look at it, it's already public already. So what's done is done. But if anything can be done to try and reduce it in the right way, in a fair way, that should be acknowledged as well. And maybe at times that's not acknowledged. Luana, yes, they are. When were you there? Cece, I thought a few days away from what this channel has turned into would be enough, but I see there's no limit and no bottom it can hit. That will be enough. Wait, I thought a few days away from WarLike Wrath's channel has turned into would be this language and wording great. I could interpret this as in CC has taken a bit of a break from WarLike Wrath's channel because the way it's gone isn't good. But you know what's really extremely ignorant amongst parts of the human race out there over time, no one in particular, is that you've got the live chat, regardless of how bad it is, you can't control who comes and goes, you can't control who watches. And whilst you've got the control to block people, the moment you do that on a mass level, you'll create more problems and people will come back under fake accounts. Do you honestly think that's a good idea? Push people away, push opportunities away, push learning away, push it so people come back 2 times harder than they did before. I don't think humans have understood what I've said previously. I'm an experienced individual by now. I've seen how it's gone in the past. I've seen what blocking people can do on a mass level. It can damage your own credibility long term, and it can lead to people becoming hungry. When one account closes, 2 doors open, and now you've got 2 fake accounts and you don't even know who it belongs to. Keep your enemies closer. Why don't people do that? Keep your enemies closer, work with the devil, do what needs to be done, for justice for Noah. But people don't want to do that. Maybe some people on the light side are so pure that they don't want to touch an ounce or droplet of crimson blood because it will tarnish and corrupt their mind. If you have it under control and keep grips of things, you can engage with darkness. You don't have to be consumed by it. Okay? You can demonstrate compliance going along with it. You don't have to demonstrate internalization. But maybe some people along the way are more impressionable, vulnerable, can be easily influenced, so they want to stick away from it. They want to stand as far away. But by standing further away, you won't see the whole perspective, and it won't be quite in detail. And that is a problem. See, at the end of the day, when it comes to WarLike Wrath's channel, if you're really here for the case, then you would be watching the video and not participating in the live chat if it's that bad. Okay? I'm just talking in general there. People have a choice to watch the live premiere. People have the choice to engage or watch the live chat. People have the choice to click on full screen mode, watch my video, and not be interrupted by the live chat. People have the option to just watch the video on catch up after the video has been uploaded. Because there's many other true crime channels out there, drama or not, that will upload videos in standard format. There isn't a live chat, but there is still a comment section. And if there wasn't a live chat, if there wasn't a comment section, people would be talking about it elsewhere. And where would that be? More underground. So whilst people can complain about darkness and nasty stuff said, you should be grateful and thankful that there is a platform with freedom of speech, more so my channel, freedom of speech, so you can actually defend yourself, so you can actually provide context yourself, and furthermore, so you can witness it yourself, get screenshots, use it as evidence in the future if you need to. The more you push the darkness away, it does not solve the problem. It does not fix it. It just makes it harder for you to try and find the truth and to try and defend yourself. You push people too far away, they go underground. They create private communities. They may go to all kinds of weird places online to talk about you and other things. You hear mutters of it, whispers amongst the dark hallways, but you cannot see no end in sight. You're in an endless abyss of confusion. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to do anymore. But if there is a free-for-all coliseum where blood may be spilled all about and petty individuals cheer in the background, at least you've got a forefront sight into seeing what's really going on and what's being said. As bad, as dark and negative as it may be, you're seeing it from the horse's mouth. You're seeing people for what they truly are. Exorcists like Wrath, exercising the demons in people's mindsets, their true reality, their perspectives and what they got to say. Okay, you see it raw, you get evidence, you get screenshots, you've got the power to watch, to avoid, to report. I don't think people understand how great that is. Okay? And you've got other platforms that will burn stuff down to the ground, and other platforms that will censor and silence, and you think that fixes the problem? It intensifies it, increases the hunger within the true darkness out there, or whatever you see as darkness. Okay? You think pushing them away is enough? It's prodding and poking the bear with the fire, so it comes back harder, or it comes back deeper, and you can't see it this time round. Okay? That's where humans fail to understand. But don't worry, WarLike Wrath has it under control. And I hope people listened then and took notes, because it's worth doing so. Be sure to rewind back if you did not listen. Luana, neither can they. Absolutely. You asked, don't cry, to Elizabeth. She's disgusting to talk about her family member like that whilst take up for Justin, who has caused so much harm. I would be ashamed if he was my family. To Cece, it was brought to the page because he asked for it to be posted when someone claimed to have seen it. He wanted it to be posted. And to be honest, that is true. It is actually true. Justin wanted to see it. Now, if it was more so, can you show me it in private? That probably would have been better, of course. But if there was no guidelines, there was no outline in terms of requirements, just post it, I want to see it, and then you see it, and then you say, why are you posting this stuff? It's not fair, it's not good. You brought it upon yourself because you asked for it. If you wanted it private, that's understandable. If people went against Justin's wishes, so let me just give you an example. If Justin Roy wanted the screenshots, proof and evidence to be posted as hard evidence, but he wanted to see it himself privately in the background, if people then decided to post it, but not privately, but public, you've gone against Justin's wishes, you've disrespected him, and you've impacted his family negatively. But at least from what I remember seeing, it was just post it, post it, post it. I want to see it right now. I want to see the proof. Oh, there's the proof. There's the evidence. You shouldn't have done that. How dare you? I mean, it's as stupid as being in a relationship with someone for 10 years and they're like, yeah, I want you to stroke my face, stroke my chest. And they demand for it and they're passionate. They ask, and it's all above board. And then as soon as it's done, the hand on the chest. How dare you? You raped me. Get a grip of yourself. What is going on with the human race there? You see? That is where there's a bit of a problem and a dysfunction. It's leading you into a false sense of security, just like how some of the human race has done so to me in general and in cases. I keep asking, is this okay? Is that fine? Do I care too much? Am I talkative too much? Am I too quiet? Am I too loud? Am I too am I too cautious? You know, things like that. Am I posting too many links? Am I sharing too many videos in a short space of time? And what do people say? No, Raph. No, Andy. It's fine. It's okay. You don't need to worry. It's all good. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Just keep on going. Keep on going, WarLike Wrath. And I do so. And then down the line, they respond and say, how could you do that, WarLike Wrath? Why are you doing that? I don't care. I'm not sorry. That's your problem. That's your fault. Why are you like this? Why are you like that? That's sad. That's pathetic. You said it was okay then, you said it was okay later, and it's not now. Why? This is the dysfunction within the human race. My IQ level is somewhat impacted by the incompetence of people out there, and it's very unfortunate. But it brings around many themes and discussions, not on an exclusive personal scale, but just in general, and with my own encounters over time, and in general, and in previous cases. And then you can apply it in the future, so then you know what to expect, you know how to react, and what to think and feel at the time. But let's move on in between. Heartfelt truths. Pot calling the kettle black with comment, don't you think? How clean is your background? You do realise your son has a habit of messaging women all times of the day and night. Moving on. What else do we have? Justin says, they'll do anything to make me look bad. Dude, you do it all on your own, constantly embarrassing your daughter and then blaming Jasmine Milan, saying it's manipulation when she didn't even reach out. She said it's fine. You got nerve, buddy, you ask. Even imply that lying, telling them to post it. No wonder Robin called you a liar. What else do we have? Maria. So what's the big deal anyways? Really stupid people. Who are stupid people? Elizabeth responds, would you enjoy reading a breakdown of the lines your son-in-law has crossed? There is more than one or two people in the wrong here, and one of them is most definitely Justin Roy. Justin responds, you are a snake. Releasing my minor's daughter's DMs was the problem. Wait, so is Justin accusing Elizabeth of being responsible? Now, you want to be a hypocrite because of the backstory? My daughter only reached out to Jasmine Milan because she wanted our families back together and she was worried about her mental health issues. That's it. And y'all piece of shit snakes used it as a weapon against me personally. How sad are you, piece of shit? Right, so the context that Justin provides here is the same context that I provided in my video, but supposedly it wasn't good enough, and we'll get to that later, unless comments have been adjusted since. Peace in Christ. If your intentions are right, or just then let it be between you and the Lord Jesus. I don't fully know what's happening, but there seems to be continuous an outburst of wrath, and we should avoid any such action. Everything will work out. I think the outburst of wrath is not in terms of my name, but more so just the description of wrath, you know, raptures of wrath, rage, anger, frustration, amongst others. Okay? And it's interesting how one individual that actually has the name wrath is more under control and much calmer than most humans are out there, which is a major contrast, but also kind of a similarity to how people on the dark side have better reasoning ability than some on the light side, as we've seen with time. These major contrasts are what's most important. So it's not always face value. Just read the Bible, keep your eyes on the Lord, and it'll be well with you. Everything will work out. Hopefully this brings uplifting to the Lord. Luana says, wrong. You asked to Justin, and the only reason your family was not together is because you have become so consumed by Noah's death that you have lied and manipulated everything to try and paint Noah's friends as murderers. That's disgusting, and it seems your daughter is over it too. How disappointing are you? Nothing is more important than your ego, not even your own family. You asked for it to be posted. I have seen the comments you made asking for it. George Choden steps on in. You know a thing or two about child abuse, don't you? Whoa, what the F? Whoa, what's going on here? So it seems like George Choden is saying that Justin Roy is known for that, which I've no clue about. Okay. I said people may see a comment like that and think, whoa, that's really bad. That needs to be deleted. That needs to be reported or whatnot. Well, you can report it yourself if you feel the need to, but just as a heads up, you know, if for some reason people felt this was bad, this was wrong, or it was incorrect, well, you just get a screenshot of it and then you can use it as evidence if need be. But, you know, I've no clue what's going on here, to be honest with you. Getting a bit deep, getting a bit dark. Justin. So I was told by Donna Bond, who claimed to have seen them, it was from my son, not my minor daughter. Big difference there. And they should have known better to release messages from a minor child. So go back and read the messages. I clearly thought it was from my son. Elizabeth, your true character continues to shine, though. If nothing else, you are consistent, consistently bad. Brooke Carter comes in. The fact this grown-ass man is harassing and bullying and lying about these kids, that his own daughter is embarrassed of him. I wouldn't call anyone stupid, ma'am. See, those family goes run wrong on both sides. Oh, jeans. Justin, I'm glad your opinion don't mean anything. If you're okay with what happened, you are clearly part of the problem. In no way was this okay. Yeah, it happened. Guess you're just fine with it. So just as a question to Justin Roy, one-on-one question, Justin. If there was rumours going about like text messages and, people of your family members reaching out to others and apologising, and you wanted proof of it, because you wasn't too sure if it was true or not, or a typical rumour, you wanted it to be resolved as soon as possible. So then, you're safe, your family are safe. What would have been the most ideal outcome then, if there was truly evidence and proof that, such as the daughter Hayley, had reached out for other reasons, and it was taken out of context and weaponised against you, but you, Justin, wanted to see it for yourself as proof in the first place, to see what was up? What would have been the better way around it? If someone sent it to you as a private message, would that have been better instead of it being released publicly? But I don't remember Justin mentioning he wants it private or public. It wasn't specified. He just wanted to see it. So what would have been the most ideal outcome, Justin? To squash any rumours, to avoid it being weaponised against you, but to get the truth behind it? What would have been the best approach? See, obviously the video that I did, you could say, oh, well, you're just as bad. But take in mind, the damage was already done before, way before I even was aware of what was going on. The video that I did with Justin's point of view as a form of damage limitation, which has got to count for something. Melanie Fagan, this is so sad. Are all the vultures finally going to stop when there's another funeral? Stop it, people. Just stop. Nothing good is coming out of this hate. That is just increasing. The only good that can come from it is balance, context provided here. For example, Justin Roy's response, and Melanie, approves of that, which is positive. Shout out to Melanie Fagan. Justin, I agree. My daughter is absolutely devastated this happened, that they used her message as a weapon against me. Breaks my heart. One day, I agree with you. This isn't helping Noah or his family at all. It's like a virtual riot, so uncalled for. But whilst it could be deemed as not helping the case directly at hand from the dark side perspective and what they've posted and presented in recent time. Oh, it was perfectly okay though in the early days when, from the light side perspective, some insults and points and comments made about the dark side in different ways and in insulting ways, that was perfectly okay, and that was for the case, that helped the case. No, it didn't. But it was deemed as helpful. But this isn't. It does seem a bit one-sided at times, though. Elizabeth says, yes, balance and context surrounding all angles. There should be no complaints on sharing all parts from all angles. Well said. Justin, yeah, y'all complain about everything. You complain because everyone knows the truth had no being told. You complain about the backstory of my daughter's message, yet you are okay releasing it. Bunch of hypocrites. Then why release my daughter's messages yet don't want the backstory of why it happened? I don't know. I do know you are a man of faith and can make this better for your daughter. You and I both know God has the power to turn a bad situation into good for his glory. Let me step out. Okay, there we go. We're just being conscious of time. And don't cry. I don't see anywhere in the messages where your daughter was asking Jasmine Millan about her mental health. Where is that part? Unless there are more screenshots of the conversation later on which weren't released public. There could be that. Melanie to Justin, I'm so sorry this is happening to you and your family, Justin Roy. I'm also sorry for Jasmine Millan and hope she will be okay and those close to her will help her. See? Just in a few sentences, Melanie Fagan, all under control, keeping it balanced with language and wording. Once again, another good example of a human. If there was more Melanies out there, the community would be better off. But there's only one. Anyway, moving on. What else? I have lost so many close friends to suicide and I've been there myself. Praying for all of you. So sad, the hate that's going on. People are losing sight. There are real people, real families being affected. Obviously, the more emotionally connected you are to the case, the more, I guess, emotional you are in general, and that's not meant as a criticism, the more hurt you can be when exposed to things in cases. And it's like with the Kenny Veach case, Godlike Productions, the website, the forums out there, you want to get hardcore, got to prepare yourself, got to harden up, got to expect the worst outcomes. It sounds bad, it sounds messed up, but, certain communities, certain cases can be a lot darker than here. Take that into mind. I mean, people here that think it's bad, you go back to the Dylan Rounds case. If you were around there, it'd be drowning. It'd be even worse. Justin, I agree and thank you. We have prayed for everyone in this case, all of them, and have no ill will towards anyone. If they did show up to any family function, it would be welcomed and we would have fun like we used to. No ill will towards anyone, including party goers, but some party goers think or feel that what Justin is too heavy-handed, as in too passionate, that it comes across as too much. Justin doesn't mean it in a negative way, he means it in a positive way, but those on the receiving end interpret it as a negative, possibly. Not quite seeing eye to eye. That's exactly what she thought she was doing, and just look at the evil post they made about it just to attack me. That's sickening and vile. My daughter literally just wanted our family back together and they split in her face. What innocent people do that? So it could be the means of some people in the dark side have done it more so to highlight Justin in a certain way based off a supposed truth, but unfortunately in the crossfire there was collateral damage for the daughter. That's the only reason she sent the message. I'm not going to get into any details with you, but my daughter was concerned for her. But at least from that one little chat screenshot that was available, it doesn't go into the mental health part. But there could be more elsewhere. Elizabeth says, I only saw this because I have seen you in the chats and on the comments of Raf's channel. Her mental health struggles are not what Justin Roy has made them seem. It is not our place to discuss nor guess what one is mentally going through and should have never been spoken by Justin in order to save face. Could you imagine what pain that might cause this young lady now? I don't think any of us have the right to speak on her mental health, period. But just in fairness, when it comes to the mental health aspect, it's important to get a rough idea or understanding, because people are quite okay talking about Caden Pressey mental health and him seeking a therapist and going on about that on and on and on. But then again, that might differ because Alicia Lee did mention it and talk about it. But then again, that was a private interview that was then later leaked. But still, you see the levels and layers. When it comes to Jasmine Milan, the mental health part wasn't openly talked about in the first place, so it should be respected more privately. But if a person talks about their mental health publicly and openly, then the general public should have some ways of being able to talk or interpret it, right? What I think at the end of the day is, let's not forget how a lot of people have been talking about Mikey Lair's state of mind or mental health at the time when it came to the PTSD, which wasn't caused by the case, it was actually in the past. But to take someone like that to a party where there's alcohol, loud noises, guns, and all this and that, is it the best place to be? And then on top, coming across your friend or a person you may kind of know of roughly in the moment, dead on the side of a highway and then upset by it. And Caden Pressey mentioned about and worded it in a bit of a reckless way, but it's not done with intent, that Mikey has mental issues. So Caden Pressey publicly spoke about another person having mental health issues. Let's mention that, okay? That's just about consistency. That's about pointing it out there. I don't know what people think about it, but you can always list it below. SKM, thank you, Ref, for your continued measured and thorough coverage. So wish some of the ones with main character syndrome could absorb a tiny fraction of your maturity and control. Well, I appreciate that, SKIM, for the positive words said to me. And, you know, maybe not everyone will believe in it, but it will be documented on my channel that when I did do videos analysing the human race, I did that from the age of 14. So even back in 2014, what I was doing here is what I was doing back then. But no one ever knew. It's crazy. Carl, and humility, to be fair and balanced. Shout out to Carl there. Good individual. Right, so I will get back to you on this, Michelle, as a standalone video. Apologies about the flash. I'll get to that later. But yeah, do you think the groups are doing anything good at this point? Or any of the groups? I know there are a few. I'm in the Justice Army case discussion groups, but do you think any are helping, hindering, which, and why would you say? I've got a few things to say about that, but I'll do that for a separate video because it's a good question. Justin. So they want to release my minor's daughter's messages as a weapon against me, yet don't want the backstory of why my daughter messaged her to begin with. That's hypocrisy. My daughter only wanted our families back together, was worried about Jasmine's mental health. That's the only reason she messaged her. This isn't my fault or my daughter's fault. This is all on Jasmine Milan. Right, so Jasmine Milan has mental health issues, but also this is all on Jasmine Milan. Jasmine Milan is to blame for all of this. She should not have released those messages to the wolves. Only the truth will set her free. Well, where else was it supposed to be posted then? Because I thought Justin was asking for the proof of it. So you ask for the proof of it, and then once you get the proof, then you blame the person for posting it or something. I don't quite understand. Peace, amen. Did you not ask them to show proof of the messages? It seems like you asked for them to be posted and then got pissed that they actually existed. Maybe for your children's sake, you should step back. Are they most important part of your life? George, so the first thing out of your mouth yesterday after you had been begging to see the messages was that your daughter's a liar. And then when it was confirmed that she had sent it, you flipped it to be all about yourself. You're the victim. I'm pretty sure your daughter meant what she said to Jasmine, and it's clear she's embarrassed by your actions. You're not going to be winning any Parent of the Year awards, if anything. You should be restricted from ever engaging with any of the kids in your community. Your rant yesterday should be a PSA to send to all area schools on how not to be talking about mental health issues online. And you have the effing nerve to continue to bash Jasmine Milan. Heartfelt says standing ovation to George. Justin has serious issues, and from what I've heard, physical evidence is mounting against him and others. He has crossed the line one too many times. If he has even a shred of intelligence, he will back off and focus on his family. I was told by Donna Bond, who claimed to see that it was from my son, not my minor daughter. Big difference there. And they should have known better to release messages from a minor child. They should have known better to have not release. They should have known better to release the messages. They shouldn't have done it in the first place. But Justin was asking for the proof and evidence. So how else are you supposed to pass it on? Privately? But that didn't happen. Justin, not until the truth comes out about Noah, then I'm done. You're not going to threaten me. I promise you that. Good luck. I promise I'll be more than ready for your lawsuits. Must be hell in your household. And then, of course, we got Sharon. It says, amazing video last night, as always. Firstly, Wrath, thank you so much for setting things straight. It made me incredibly upset because I always see the good in people, even when I am hurt. But I am incredibly proud of everyone and the kindness, support and love I've been shown. I know I don't talk much about the case, but I do listen and enjoy being here. Wrath deserves all the love and kindness in the world because this channel is beyond incredible. Again, thank you. Lots of love. So shout out to Sharon there. Big shout out to Sharon, the strawberry, the one and only strawberry about. There we go. Okay, what else do we have? Oh my God, there's a few more. Peace in Christ. That's right. You can't erase what you said. Your words are like double-edged sword. It's best not to write anything in the heat of the moment. Exactly. But they sure can be manipulated, and the clan has done it so much, but they're good at it. Well, this is the thing, Luana. If the clan are so good at it now, at manipulating things, then surely the people on the receiving end must be very good at detecting the manipulation, but not good enough to actually provide hard evidence, which I've yet to see, like with the Snapchat post. There's going to be a lot of talk, but there's not enough action. Interesting. We've got Sonny as well. Spencer. All that matters to Jack, Caden, Mikey, Brylan, Isaac, Avery, Carter, Jasmine, Logan, Caden, cousin, best friend, can't remember the names. Family, me personally, I don't hate or disbelieve any party group. Whatever happened to Noah, time will tell or not. Okay, fair, well-rounded comment. Luana Cook says, this is so typical of the clan. That is an edited version of what was said. You used to be better than this, Wrath. So disappointed in you, but you're being led down the clan's dark path. So Luana Cook is disappointed within WarLike Wrath. That WarLike Wrath is a silly little boy that has been led down a dark pathway. The same interpretation back in the past when people said the same thing about me being in the presence of Vanessa Salazar. And look how that ended up. WarLike Wrath's still here. WarLike Wrath still covering the case. More intense than ever, but more balanced than ever. It was a fair trade-off, was it not? But let's just see the responses. Oops, Click there. You asked, what was edited? See, this is what I mean. It's okay to mention a comment or a point, like what Luana does, but just to say it was an edited version. Of what? We've got a 1 hour long video of different screenshots. What was edited? If you're going to complain, first of all, give context and give reasoning. At least match the same energy levels as what I did in my video, because I did provide perspective, I did add context, and even from Justin Roy's perspective, and yet Luana fails to do so. So that is rather disappointing. But that aside, EP, you're one of the biggest idiots out there. Itchy. What does that mean? Go wash your hands. Why? Where they've been? Luana, the rest of the conversation. The rest of the conversation has been edited. I only showed a part of the conversation. So how is that edited? That makes no sense whatsoever. If Luana is meaning there is more to it, there are more screenshots, I don't have access to them. What the hell am I supposed to do? I'm just working with what I've got. If there is a full conversation and it's been cropped, edited, yes, it's been edited, it's been manipulated to only show a certain side. But if it's been made clear that there are more than one screenshot, only one of the screenshots has been used because the rest of it may be sensitive or, I don't know, some other reasons, that's not edited. It's just only giving part of the context. It's got nothing to do with editing. Editing is when you adjust, make adjustments to what's on screen. You blank out some text. You add a square box. You add a kitty cat in the bottom right corner of the screen. You change the colour, the font. You add vignette, shading, contrast. That is editing. Taking a screenshot, a photo, and leaving it natural, then taking more photos after it from different angles, but only providing one angle does not equate to it being edited, just more so that it was selective, as in only a certain perspective was shown. There is a difference between being selective and editing stuff. Language, wording, lacking once again. What is going on? There's a difference between showing part of a conversation and then editing out a full conversation and cropping it down, right? What about previous ones where it supposedly came with Jack Newton, where he, passed it on with what he's been told as for the possible cause of death, and that was involved in previous conversations in the past, but it was always excluded. That when it came to Brooke Bounce Carter's threat, the full context of the conversation was never provided. It was cropped to just her comment. And whilst it may have been negative enough and threatening enough, it would have been nice to see why Brooke said what she said to the person above, but we never got the full screenshot of it or the full conversation. That is edited, and that was done by the light side. So the light side aren't always in the right position to be talking when they've done certain stuff themselves. Not specifically referring to anyone in particular, but where it's presented from is from the light side, like the army page in the past. And the full context wasn't quite there because the actual screenshot that was taken was cropped, limited, and minimized, which is edited. Why do humans not understand this? Justin to Luana. Yeah, he, as in Ref, didn't go into all the comments and read all of it like I thought he normally does. Well, what comments exactly? You mean the comments of a post or here or there? They were deleted. The posts were taken down, were they not, by Michael Facecas? So how is one supposed to get a hold of it all? Okay? I wasn't around at the time of when it was all public. I probably was fast asleep, okay? I'm not Superman. I can't be everywhere all at once. And anyway, I did reach out to Justin, and I will do it out of respect of privacy to an extent, but just to establish that full balance. When that dark material came about, I didn't just, pounce on it and make a video. I reached out to Justin and said, okay, it appears what's gone on has gone on. Is there anything I can do? Should I make a video of that photo, that screenshot? Provide context from your point of view, your comment, your Facebook post. And what did Justin Roy say? Yes, I think that would be a good idea. And that's all that was agreed upon. Provide the photo, analyse it, and add on Justin Roy's comments, or at least a Facebook post. That was all that was agreed upon. Nothing else, nothing more. Okay? If more should have been added, better communication should have come about. It's as simple as that. But in fairness, that's not my problem. And there was limited material to work with as well. If there were more screenshots and more context, it would have been provided. Okay? And whilst other previous historical screenshots could have been provided, because they're posted, then unsent, how are you supposed to keep up with it? When multiple screenshots are posted, but there's no context provided behind it, I'm supposed to try and interpret it like, I don't know, someone, and it's like full on. But then when it's come to the dark side with time, that I said, here's a photo, here's the context behind it, here's another photo, here's the context behind it, credit to the individual out there, it's done so much better and not as erratic. When people are erratic or forceful or passionate or it's heat of the moment and you expect someone to be on the same wavelength energy levels as you in trying to interpret the situation, it can be a bit too much. Okay? Only so much people can do. But whilst we're here, let's just read what Justin also says. But some of those comments would show exactly how some of these people are. Siobhan is disgusting. Cecily, Brooke Bounce Carter, George, absolutely disgusting people. They'll definitely have to answer for it one day. And there might be some of the screenshots out there which paint certain people in a very negative way, but Justin has also mentioned probably not best to show this or show that. So, you know, you can't have it like both ways at the same time. There's still a level of restriction. George says, talk about disgusting, vile piece of shit. No shortage of that in your family, especially on your crazy wife's side of the family. Yeah, you said that, not me. Well, it's apparent that they've done half the crimes in the county, so it's no surprise what you've all found yourself doing and quite capable of doing. You had 10 plus family members at that party, and just junior school, whatever, suggest probability increases when there's more to go around. You're going to have to answer for all of this because it's your Noah's mercenary group doing all this. Elizabeth, are you accusing WarLike Wrath of editing the content he is providing? Everyone saw it in the groups, nothing was edited, and again, you are a liar, again, in comments both lies. And Luana says, not accusing of him of editing, you are the despicable liar. Oh, so now Luana is saying she's not accusing WarLike Wrath of editing anything. Now, did I interpret it that way in the first place? No. But to say that, you know, there was an edited version and that you expected more from me, how do you expect more from me if all I have is an edited version, supposedly, when there's nothing else to work with? What more am I supposed to do? It's like asking me to build a massive donut and yet there's no mixture or sugar. What am I supposed to do? Use salt, pepper instead. I mean, that's going to work. And as well, once again, how do we know it's edited? Or is it just that the full conversation wasn't shown? And Luana says the rest of the conversation, what? The rest of the conversation was edited, as in edited out, not included. It's a screenshot of what so much that can fit on a screen. You can't fit the whole paragraph on it. It's like trying to get a screenshot of one of Jan Fiorillo's comment. There's no way you're going to get a screenshot of it in one go. Even using a tablet, you'll need to use a 75-inch smart TV just to be able to get a screen capture of every word that Jan says. And that's just an observation, because she's got a lot to say and she's passionate. There we go. Positive mentioned once again. I'm sure people will interpret it as a negative. What else? Luana, I was threatened last night for supporting Justin. Be sure the screenshots is going to our sheriff. Even though they've been deleted, I've made 3 copies of every word, and as usual, it was a fake profile. They still have learned that nothing posted online never goes away. So whilst you've been in a bad situation, Luana, you've been given an opportunity to see it for yourself, get screenshots and evidence. Hence why my coverage, my style, actually helps people who are in danger, because you've got evidence, you've got stuff to work with. If it's censored or blocked, you might not have the same opportunities. And then you won't know what's going on because it's in the background. See, all under control. What else do we have here? I think I know by the language and intensity, but I'll give my thoughts to the sheriff in the morning. And that's it, okay. Justin, please be careful. These people have gotten very aggressive lately. I think they know what's coming. And they're scared. Please don't get hurt or in any situation. See, the way people have got aggressive or angry, the more likely the people that have got aggressive and angry in more recent time aren't by the dark side that, you know, the walls are closing in. It's actually more so by the light side from what I've been on the receiving end of, where people sort of turn from a little, what type of dog? I don't know what type of dog, into like a pit bull out of nowhere. Full on, calm down. Sherry, stay safe. This case is solved soon, hopefully. Okay. Sheriff was closed today. Well, that's hilarious. You realise law enforcement doesn't take off national holidays. Haha, another lie from the light side. Luana, yes, I forgot about President's Day. Alright, Sheriff office closes for President Day. I'm dying. They were open this morning. I forgot about President's Day. I know that's probably a fatal mistake. What is going on there? Julie, this was a child reaching out to a family member from an innocent heart. Why would you screenshot the Snapchat in the first place? She sent that in privacy, assuming it would automatically be deleted like a child. Right, when they say you, what does that mean exactly? Why just... Okay, how in any way is this okay to show this to the whole world? Why not just send it to Justin privately? You all make me sick to the pit of my stomach. What does you mean, though? Who's you? This is not okay. It shows the type of people you are. Lowest, you could be utterly disgusted with yourselves. Okay. But who is you? Thank you, and that's exactly what I thought. Very, very low. Daughter's devastated. I've never seen anything like this. Why innocent people act like this? But Justin did ask for proof for it to be posted. I saw it myself. If it was to be posted privately, I understand, but that was never, inquired or asked. Heartbreaking. Poor daughter. Okay. Broke my heart. My daughter is devastated and cried for hours. I let her read what they wrote about it. It absolutely broke her heart. And she knows it was used as a weapon against me. Hurt even more. How could a father be not only so oblivious to the pain he is causing his family and community, but take it a step further and hurt her more, just so you could post about it and try to get pity for yourself? Pity for you is not what people are feeling right now, dear God. I mean, it's a form of damage limitation, like when Justin says he doesn't tell his daughter everything about the case. What was the purpose of telling his daughter about this particular thing? Is it to protect them long term, so they know about it now, so they don't find about it later, maybe? There's no low they won't go to. Press for your daughter. TJ. Justin said when Noah died, he found his son upset, bawling his eyes out in the vehicle. As a father myself, that would have broke my heart. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing as Justin. I think any good person would. For anyone saying it's stepped over the line, you're totally up your own ass. Wait, who's this in response to? For anyone saying he has stepped over the line, you're totally up your own ass. The dude hasn't done anything to damage the investigation. But there is hard evidence and proof of Noah Presgrove family members and the police telling Justin to step back and Justin not doing so. It might have not caused damage to the case, but still going against certain orders when there's authority saying, can you please cool off? Why do people ignore that? Let's understand that full perspective and hard evidence. There's hard evidence. We've seen the hard evidence. Why can't people acknowledge it? Just in general, right? And the truth. Been threatened, attacked, slandered, harassed. Now they claim no matter what happens, they're suing me. Do innocent people act this way? Sherry's a mum. Son will probably already be in jail. Who crossed lines? The Party House clan crossed ultimate line by refusing to get help for Noah, shaking my head. Glenn, big shout out to Glenn amongst all this chaos. Watched the video. Justin Roy's daughter said and did nothing wrong, contradicted it at all. Just heartfelt apology. It's crazy how this weaponized somehow. WarLike Wrath, your analysis of the lady who said Vanessa was actually impersonating Sharon was brilliant and irrefutable. Clearly two different ladies. Of course, yes, Sharon is definitely a lady. Several times, they both were in the live chat at the time. I can't remember stuff Vanessa said, but Sharon is always nice and respectful, of course. I caught that myself, but thank you for pointing it out. There we go. It was used as a weapon, like my daughter. Well, yeah. There we go. Sharon once again. Let's get him. My daughter, we saw that already. Did you let her read that part where you claim Jasmine Millen is mentally unstable and all the implications that I am too classy to repeat? You're a disgusting dude. I guess weaponizing your own daughter's emotions is okay if it benefits you. Need help. Brooke, a nut job. I feel for his daughter. I hope CPS checks on her. Sounds like she is scared of him. I can only imagine what happens behind closed doors. Maybe we're going a bit too far there. I'm worried for her. What she'll do to her. I mean, look at how mental he is in public. Imagine behind closed doors. What does that mean by in public? Is there any evidence of that? Sherry, thank you again. WarLike Wrath for continuing to be the voice for Noah. Praying this case is solved. Appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Your patience. Brooke, The fact she had to apologise for her dad is so telling. What's even worse is the fact he's trying to turn it around on Jazz and mental health. No, Justin's daughter never said a thing about mental health. He is the one with mental health issues. His own flesh and blood is embarrassed of his actions and apologised for it. He needs help. Sure, I hate to see everything else that's going to be exposed of him. At some point, you need to step back and look at your own actions. Luana, you're a piece. That works for you too. God have mercy on you. This can be here, ma'am. I don't have one thing to worry about. The rules still apply. Honey, you are triggered. Work on yourself. You are soulless. Better work on that. One day, I feel sorry for whatever out of spite used young girl's conversation with a cousin to antagonize another person. I can't imagine how this will come back on whoever you are. Okay. Oh, there we go. Finally catched up. Oh no, we've got Jan's comment. Let's just see what Jan says. Jan Fiorillo says, my apologies for my comment that apparently bothered you. What comment apparently bothered me then? I thought you were open to constructive criticism, as I am certainly expected to be. I've supported your channel, and you know that I have, even when I have not agreed with your content's relevance. I cannot condone the ridiculing and demeaning of your members. Jan, why do you call them my members? They're individual people that make the choice to watch my videos. I can't control who watches and who doesn't, okay? But you have done nothing but support your channel. Even when you have shown me in a poor light. That's a nice little undertone there by Jan amongst her formal language and wording, just a little jab there. Covert, but I see it. I hope you will remember Noah and that this story is about him and the tragic circumstances that stole his life. Now, I know there'll be a few people out there from the dark side that would say it's rich for Jan Fiorillo to say, I hope that you remember it's about Noah and his story and not about other stuff, even though Jan takes most of the time leaving many memoirs, paragraphs, comments, autobiographies and much more about what she thinks and the case overall, but in a really strained, dragged out way. That's not from me, Jan Fiorillo, just reiterating what people would say. Not the drama you are playing into recently. Good luck with your channel, continued success. So obviously Jan ends it on a positive note, which is good of them to do so. But to say that one is playing into the drama, that is a little bit incompetent and reckless, Jan Fiorillo, because there's been times in the past where drama has been about, but because it was from the light side perspective, that was deemed as okay and acceptable. And any jokes made or slight insults and digs aimed at the dark side and members or family members, that was deemed as okay and people didn't have a problem then. But when it's done the other way around for that full balance, now it is a problem. But, at least in my response, just remember, Jan, the light side have acted up at times as well. Just like Michael Facek has in recent time with that weird hacking type language, whether it was true or not, it just was unnecessary. But despite that, despite infantile-like behaviour displayed by certain adults, that there is a freedom of speech and was allowed for them, and now and in the future. Balance overall. It's a shame, Jan, that you don't have the same vision as me long term. It is why it is. Simply a language barrier. Peace in Christ agrees. Welcome. You asked to Jan, wow, Jan, you never stop, do you? If you don't like what Wrath has to say, then stay off his videos. Simple as that. No need to make a pity post. That one girl, excellent response, Wrath. Appreciate that. And Jan says, I don't really care what you think, nor should what I think and say bothers you so much. Andrew is a big boy. And that is a fair observation by Jan Fiorillo. Andrew is a big boy. I'm 6'2", 210 pounds, 17-inch biceps, 16.5-inch neck, a 46-inch chest, 26-inch thighs, a 35-inch waist, 40-inch hips, 35-inch waist, and there'll be other measurements as well, but we don't need to go into them. But yes, Jan says, all under control. That's good to know. That is my point of view, and since I've been the subject and or provided content, not to mention other means of support for one's channel, and of course, as mentioned, we're all entitled to freedom of speech. That's my right, is it not? No to consent. And once again, Jan's comment remains publicly viewable because of freedom of speech. The end. And we've reached the end of the comment section as well. So hopefully you found the video somewhat interesting there and everything, catching up on the loose bits and bobs. And with it being my birthday today, I still wanted to cover, you know, coverage on this case, regardless of what's going on in real life here. Still wanted to provide some coverage, consistency, and also distractions for people if it helps them. And if you found the video somewhat interesting, feel free to hit the like button, share the video if you want. If you want to watch previous videos, top right corner screen where the eye symbol is. If you want to support the channel, the pinned message down below where the PayPal link is. We're not completely done yet because I just want to do one last thing. Moving away from Noah Presgrove's case temporarily. I just wanted to do something a little bit lighthearted and catch up on some loose ends. Beauty Gurumo has been missing in action in recent time due to being busy and some bad stuff going on in the background. Partially, bits of it could be caused by the fact that she remained stuck in the wardrobe whilst Sharon was pulled out. Beauty was left behind. I know, very disappointing, but a rescue operation will be done in just a second. It will be commenced. But the other thing what I will be doing is not a fashion show, but I will stand up in a second because whilst one individual, Tinkerbell, Tammy Bell, or Dingaling Dong, whoever it was, that said last night, who cares about WarLike Wrath's top? Why does it matter? And obviously the original question was, or point made by somebody else, maybe Robbie Taylor or another person, that, oh, that's a nice top WarLike Wrath has, which was a positive. So obviously some people don't think it's that important what top WarLike Wrath is wearing, but for those that are interested, I will stand up. And as well, there are people geographically that are from Germany right now and previously, so this top kind of links on with that in a way. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The only thing that was mentioned was about something to do with, was it Ozzy Osbourne or something, calling out Sharon, his wife, in terms of a reference to a name, a voice. Can I do an impression of it right now? I don't think I'm pissed enough to do so, but I'll try and do multiple things at once. When I probably do it, I'll probably start sounding more Australian, I think. Sharon, where are you at? Yeah, it doesn't sound anything like it, does it? It's an Australian voice. Yeah. So that's what it looks like, the top. It's gold. I like it. I like the eagle in the middle. And then it's got the stripes on as well. It's kind of fitted, but loose enough. Okay. So I've noticed that the problem is with this top, because it being like a mesh material, it makes my nipples see-through and the top's not even wet. So when the top gets wet, it's game over for me, okay? And the match hasn't even started yet. But I think this is the Euro top in the past. But you can see where it's a bit, fucking hell, you can actually see the ring, you can see the dot. So obviously, when they put the black bar down the middle, they thought, no, we won't put it to censor these. No, these are not censored, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint people. Anyway, that's not too important. What's more important is the rescue operation of Beauty Gurumo. And I'll do that very quick right now. Sharon, where you at? I don't know. Okay. Come on, Beauty Gurumo. Come on, Beauty. We'll use this to catch. Okay. Come on, Beauty. Come on, Beauty. I know your head's aching. Yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Beauty Gurumo. It's okay. Don't worry. Okay. Beauty Gurumo is just in here. Okay. Yes, it's fine. It's all under control. Just put Beauty there to can rest their head. Beauty Gurumo, get some beauty sleep, okay? There's a mention about some kind of like Mexican Valley Girl accent. Have I practiced? No. Should I try it right now? Probably not a good idea, but what else can go wrong? Oh, wow, Beauty Gurumo, very nice. I'm starting to sound Asian. Yeah, there's a bit of practice that needs to go on. You know, the Valley Girl accent, yeah, that's so good and neat, but you know what'd be real better? If I can do some kind of Mexican accent, oh, Beauty Gurumo, you are so on point. I want the tacos. Oh my God. Yeah, stop. I want some food. Me so hungry. Yeah. Such slaying it all over the place, such a real baddie out there. Whatever. We'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. My name's WarLike Wrath. Goodbye for now.